Alright everyone, welcome back to my channel, Baseball Talk with Nick Morgans, and today I'm going to go ahead and talk about one thing that each National League team in Major League Baseball can be excited for in 2020. Now, my last video, I did this exact same thing, but with the 15 American League teams. I had a really fun time going ahead, doing the research, and talking about the AL with you guys, and now hopefully you guys will enjoy it as much as I do. We're going to talk about all 15 National League teams today. At least one thing that they can look forward to. A lot of these teams that I have on the list have multiple things, but I couldn't really narrow it down to just one. So if you guys are ready for this one, don't forget to drop a like down below, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. Also, you can go ahead and check out my last video using the link down below in the description. Also, if you haven't seen it already, without further ado, let's get into it. One thing each NL team can look forward to in 2020. We're going to start off with the National League East and the 5th place team in 2019, the Miami Marlins. Now, granted, they probably won't get much higher this season. However, something that they can look forward to is the new additions that they just picked up this winter. Corey Dickerson, Jesus Aguilar, Jonathan VR, and potential breakout seasons from Brian Anderson and Jordan Yamamoto. Now, they picked up 3 players who have been in Major League Baseball for a couple years now, each in Dickerson, probably their main outfielder now, Jesus Aguilar at first base, and then Jonathan VR as well. I personally like these pickups, but that's not going to bring them any higher than 5th in the division, especially when they're competing against the other NL East teams with their 2020 rosters that they currently have. But I like these 3, and this is a team that's rebuilding. This is a nice step forward for Miami. And kind of as I mentioned as well, potential breakout seasons from Jordan Yamamoto, who I believe his rookie season was last year. He is a starter with a lot of potential, and Brian Anderson is another guy that has some big pop in his bat, can play a good defensive side of the ball game as well. He's exciting to watch, really fun. The Miami Marlins have a cool young team here. These new additions are something that they can look forward to this season. Now heading over to Philadelphia to talk about the Phillies. Something that they can look forward to this year is the duo of players that they just received from New York. Now granted, 2 separate teams, the Mets and the Yankees respectively, but because of free agency, the Phillies were able to acquire pitcher Zach Wheeler of the Mets and then shortstop Didi Gregorius of the New York Yankees formerly. Now, both are pretty big players. Zach Wheeler has really great potential going forward. And the Phillies, I don't think they're going to do that great this year. I think they're going to kind of have a repeat season from 2019. But Wheeler is definitely a nice improvement and pickup here. I think he can do some great things, just like what he did in New York, now out in Philadelphia instead. And for Didi Gregorius, of course, he was injured in 2019, missed the majority of the season. But I think when healthy, this guy can really swing a bat. He plays a great shortstop. Definitely a fun guy to watch over there defensively. Definitely can flash the leather for you guys. But I really like this. I'm very happy that the Phillies picked up Zach Wheeler and Didi Gregorius because I can root for the Phillies. Not necessarily that they're my favorite team, but they are still a fun team to watch on TV. Something that they can look forward to, Zach Wheeler and Didi Gregorius from New York. Now, if we start to talk about the Mets, this list can go on and on. I can make a laundry list of things that they could be excited for when it comes to the 2020 season. But up first, of course, you have the sophomore year campaigns for Jeff McNeil and Pete Alonso. Alonso, as we all know, National League single season record for home runs by a rookie. He set that last year with 53. The guy did amazing at the plate. Jeff McNeil held a pretty nice average. He could play a solid infield as well. And the flying swirl is just amazing on the base paths. So that's one thing. But then next on the list is Jacob deGrom and a potential 3-peat. Could he go ahead and potentially have another great season to make it 3 in a row? I definitely think so. And if he can, that's something the Mets should definitely be on the lookout for. And then I also have Yoenis Cespedes coming back and potentially being healthy. Not just with him, but the entire team being healthy is going to be really important. Now, I'm saying this a little too late as they lost Michael Conforto yesterday to injury. But if the Mets can stay healthy and all these things I just mentioned can be successful in 2020, this is a disgusting team and one to look out for this season. The reigning World Series champions, the Washington Nationals. Now, they made some minor moves that they can look forward to this upcoming season, and that includes Howie Kendrick as Jubal Cabrera, Eric Thames, but the big one here, of course, is Steven Strasburg, securing him, bringing him back for a couple more years. You also have Carter Kieboom and his rookie season coming up, so that's going to be super exciting. And, of course, still Juan Soto was out there patrolling the outfield. So the Nats have a really fun team. For the most part, younger team, but they did primarily sign a lot of vets this winter, as I just mentioned. So for them, they can look forward to all these new pickups that they have, the young guys, and bringing back Steven Strasburg. To close out the National League East, you have the Atlanta Braves. That's something that they can look forward to is their big three, and that is Acuna, Albies, and Freddie Freeman. Now, in addition to this, you also have Marcell Ozuna, who is one of their bigger offseason pickups this winter, and he'll be fun to watch out there, most likely in right field or left field, either way, but he will be in the outfield for Atlanta somewhere this season, and he's fun to watch, Big Bear Ozuna. But then you also have your rotation guys that they picked up, primarily Felix Hernandez, who's been doing great in spring training. But the Braves, I kind of want to go a little further last year. I don't know how far they're going to make it this season, but if you want to look forward to something as a Braves fan or just as a team, definitely your exciting big three, and Ronald Acuna Jr., Ozzie Albies, and Freddie Freeman, for sure. To the Central now, we're talking about the Pittsburgh Pirates, and we're talking about the young guys with potential. Brian Reynolds, Cole Tucker, and Josh Bell. We all know Josh Bell went on a complete tear last season. Brian Reynolds had a great rookie season in 2019, and now Cole Tucker gets the opportunity in 2020, which I believe is his rookie year as well. So the Pirates are amongst teams rebuilding going into 2020. There are teams that not really have a whole lot going for them this season, but these young players are definitely something that are exciting to watch within the franchise and things that could be really big within the future for the Pirates as well. Over to Cincinnati, this team is going to have a phenomenal 2020, and you have to look forward to the big bats that come along with this roster. They had a wonderful winter, picking up Mike Moustakas, Nicholas Castellanos, and they still have Eugenio Suarez, Aristides Aquino for his rookie season, Trevor Bauer in the Bauer outage. They have great players, super exciting winter. They picked up a lot of great names in Castellanos, in Moustakas. So I'm just really excited to watch this team play as a whole, let alone just things that they can look forward to. Really, every player on their roster is someone that you should be excited to watch and look out for this season. And I mean that wholeheartedly. This team is going to be so good, much better than 2019 in this 2020 year. And I'm excited to see what they can accomplish. I'm going out to Chicago to talk about the Cubs. They didn't have the biggest 2019 or winter, but you could always look forward to watching their big-name veterans play. And that is Rizzo, Chris Bryant, Anthony Rizzo, Wilson Contreras, and Javier Baez. You have the magician at shortstop, a great backstop in Wilson Contreras, and your cornerstones, Chris Bryant and Anthony Rizzo, one of the best duos in the National League. Super fun. When these guys are all healthy, they can absolutely destroy the ball at the plate. Really fun to watch, exciting for the Cubs as fans and as a franchise. These players are always going to do as well as they can and perform at the highest level possible. So that's something that they can all look forward to in 2020. Now for the Brewers, I didn't get time to talk about this for a full video designated on just this topic, but they have locked up Christian Yelich, not in a bad way, but they do have control over Christian Yelich now for the next couple seasons with a huge contract extension that went down a couple days ago. This is great in itself, being that Yelich has definitely proved he's one of the best outfielders in the game in the past 2-3 seasons. Whole lot of fun, just in itself, super exciting. Yelich to be in this one uniform for the next couple seasons, what could end up being the majority of the career he still has left to play. That's really cool for Yelich fans and the Brewers just in general. Also, as well as Yelich, there is still a lot of young talent on this team, primarily Keston Hiura, who could completely go under the radar again in 2020, just like last year in his rookie season. This guy did some great things, and really, we did not point him out much. It was all Pete Alonso, Vlad Jr., and those guys. We did not talk about Keston Hiura nearly as much as we should have, so I think he could definitely fly under the radar again, but him and other young guys on this team, I think it's going to be super exciting, something that all Brewers fans look forward to this season, as well as Christian Yelich. Wrapping it up in the NL Central, we have the St. Louis Cardinals. Now, much like a couple other teams I talked about from the American League, they didn't really do a whole lot this winter, either gaining players or losing players. So, what I think is something really important for them is that they're essentially going into 20 with a very similar lineup they ended 2019 with, and that is huge. a lot of chemistry. You know where guys are going to play. You know how they play together, and that is big in itself. If the Cardinals can repeat last season, they are a force to be reckoned with. They made it super far in the playoffs last year, almost made it to the World Series. We're in that final stage, and I think they could even potentially compete with the Mets and other big-name teams this year, even though they might not be the best in their division. Starting off our final division for this video, you have the San Diego Padres. And for me, well, this is kind of obvious here. You have Fernando Tatis Jr., his first full season, hopefully, if he could stay healthy. I mean, this guy played about 80 to 100 games last year. I don't know the exact number off the top of my head, but still did some great things on the base paths, fielding with the bat. I mean, this guy's someone that we should all be on the lookout for the entirety of his career, not just 2020. So that in himself is really big for the Padres. But then you also have some big young guns. You have Chris Paddock, Mejia, and Machado still on that team. A lot of young talent, a lot of guys who are going to be with San Diego for the next couple seasons, and that's fun and exciting, something to watch out for in 2020. The Rockies haven't been the best of teams in Major League Baseball these past couple years. However, they still have some really big bats in that lineup. You have Nolan Arenado, Trevor Story, Charlie Blackmon, and Daniel Murphy. When he's healthy, he can swing the bat as well. These four guys are really important in that Rockies lineup. So they might not be doing much. They might not be going to the playoffs this year and the postseason. They still do have a pretty solid lineup. At least that middle heart of the order is really big. Something to look forward to. You're always going to get a lot of production out of these 3-4 guys. And if you're a Rockies fan right now, your team might be struggling a little bit. They're looking into the future, but these four guys are still going to do some great things today. Much like the Chicago Cubs, my San Francisco Giants note is very similar. They have a good veteran presence on their team. Buster Posey, you have Belt, Crawford, and Cueto as well. I mean, these are all names that have been in Major League Baseball for many seasons now. They know what they're doing. They're good at the game. They might have gotten a little worse compared to other players in the game. You know, you definitely have Buster Posey, who's kind of gone down a little bit just because of his age and health and everything. But at the end of the day, they are still great players and have potential. They could spark something up for 2020. That's something to be excited about. Also, you have Mike Yastrzemski in his second season. I think he's going to be fun to watch. He's got a great bat. He hits from the left side and can absolutely demolish a ball out there in San Francisco. A lot of fun. These are both things I think that the Giants franchise and fans should look forward to this season. The Diamondbacks managed to have themselves a pretty nice offseason this year as they picked up Madison Bumgarner to help out that rotation, and they got Starling Marte via a trade with the Pittsburgh Pirates, and that now makes Marte squared. You have Starling Marte and Ketel Marte. Both are really good at their positions. I mean, Starling Marte is better offensively than he is defensively. Ketel Marte is a great player all around. And of course, Madison Bumgarner. We all know this guy. He's won numerous World Series championships, coming over to Arizona Diamondbacks now. He's with the good guys, went from one team in the division to the other, and that's really cool, really exciting. But I think he's going to do great. I love watching the Southpaw. He's been in Major League Baseball for a while as well. Fun guy to watch. Definitely how about the Diamondbacks? A lot to look forward to in 2020 for Arizona. And finally, the team that seems to get better every year, and I don't know how they managed to do that successfully, but the Los Angeles Dodgers. I mean, it has to be the fact that Mookie Betts and David Price are now on their team. Something to look forward to. They just got so much better from 2019 to 2020 because you have Mookie Betts and David Price. Maybe not as much David Price as Mookie Betts, but if you think about it, they could potentially have two of the top 5 outfielders in the game, both offensively and defensively, in Mookie Betts and Cody Bellinger. Offensively, this team just got even scarier. Defensively, Mookie Betts has himself a nice glove as well. The Dodgers definitely give a lot of teams run for their money this year. And they could probably be the National League favorites for the World Series. At this point, I definitely think they are. But really exciting for them. Great offseason, and that's something to look forward to in 2020. So guys, that's going to end it for this video. If you enjoyed it, I'm going to drop a like down below, comment, and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Peace.